Welcome back, everyone, to the MA English Cafe. Today, we're doing something a little different, a little bigger, and we think a lot more impactful. This isn't your average episode. We're going on a deep dive into the 50 most important words in English for everyday conversation.
That's right. This episode is designed to be a one-stop shop for boosting your vocabulary, your confidence, and your overall fluency. We've broken it down into 3 distinct parts to make sure every single word and every single minute counts.
In this first part, we'll introduce you to all 50 words from beginner to advanced and give you a quick, clear definition for each one. Think of it as your essential vocabulary list. Then, in the second, and arguably the most important part, we'll use all 50 of these words in a long, natural conversation between the two of us so you can hear how they're used in a real, everyday context.
And finally, in part 3, we'll break down the key grammar points from our conversation and provide additional tips and clarifications. It's a full language lesson packed into one episode. So let's get started. And before we dive in, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the MA English channel, and hit that notification bell. It's a small click for you, but a huge help for us.
Okay, let's jump right in. We've categorized the words into 3 levels. First, we have 20 words for the beginner level. These are words that go beyond the absolute basics and are incredibly useful in daily life. Words like approach, which means to move closer to something or to deal with a problem, or manage, which means to handle or control something successfully.
Next up is connect, which means to join things or people together. You use it all the time. Then there's express, to show or say what you are feeling. A great word is consider, to think about something carefully. It's more thoughtful than just think.
Absolutely. And we have appreciate, which is to be grateful for something. We appreciate you listening. And achieve, to successfully bring about a result. 2 great adjectives are specific and common. Specific means exact or precise, while common means happening or found often. These are essential for clear communication.
Let's not forget effective, which means successful in producing a desired result. And necessary, which means something that is required. These words are the building blocks of clear ideas. A few more for the beginner list: valuable, something that is of great worth; essential, absolutely necessary; and confident, feeling or showing certainty about something.
And 3 more you need in your daily conversations. Patient, to be able to remain calm and wait for a long time. Curious, to be eager to learn or know about something. And grateful, to be thankful. And finally, passionate, to have strong feelings or beliefs about something. And available, to be able to be used or found.
Now, for the intermediate level. These words are a step up and are used constantly in professional and social settings. Let's start with prioritize, which is to decide which task is most important. Then there's navigate, to find your way around something complex. This is a very common metaphor in business.
And we have collaborate, to work together on a project, and facilitate, to make an action or a process easier. You'll hear these all the time in meetings. Next, we have anticipate, to regard as probable, and evaluate, to form an idea of the amount, number, or value of something.
Then a few great ones for discussing ideas. Compromise, which is an agreement where each person gives up something to reach a solution, and negotiate, to discuss something formally to reach an agreement. You'll sound much more professional with these words. Oh, and by the way, if you're finding this list helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We've got so much more great content coming your way.
That's a good point, Ben. And we have implement, to put a decision or plan into effect. And resonate, to evoke a strong feeling or emotion in someone. 2 great adjectives are crucial and significant. Crucial means decisive or critical, while significant means sufficiently great or important.
We also have comprehensive, including all or nearly all elements of something, and consistent, acting or done in the same way over time. And a few more that you'll hear all the time. Genuine, which means authentic or sincere. Constructive, having or intended to have a useful or positive purpose, and innovative, featuring new methods or ideas. Our final two are sustainable, able to be maintained at a certain rate or level, and integral, necessary to make something complete.
And finally, let's get to our advanced words and slang. These are words that sound very natural in everyday conversation. Let's start with vibe, which is a feeling or an atmosphere. I'm getting a good vibe from this team. Then there's chill, which means to relax or be calm. You can also say, just chillin'.
A great one is hang out, to spend time relaxing informally with someone. And another popular one is low-key, which means simple, not attracting attention. We had a low-key birthday party. You'll also hear people say literally, but they often use it to exaggerate something. I literally can't even believe it.
And what about epic? Something that is very large, great, or impressive. That concert was epic. Then there's legit, a shortened version of legitimate, meaning genuine or valid. That concert was legit good. Another one is solid, which can mean reliable or a good person. He's a solid guy. And two more for you. Dope, which means cool or excellent, and hustle, which can mean to work hard or move quickly.
So, those are the 50 words. We've given you the brief definitions, and now we're going to put them into action. Stay with us for part 2, where we'll use all of them in a single, long conversation. You'll see just how much your English can improve with these words in your vocabulary. Don't go anywhere.
So, after that word list, I'm feeling pretty confident about using them all. Let's try to put them into a real conversation. I've been thinking about this project proposal, and I think it has a really good vibe.
I agree. I was anticipating a difficult start, but it was surprisingly easy. To achieve our goals, we have to prioritize a few key things first. We need a specific plan of action, and it's crucial that we collaborate well.
Absolutely. I think our ability to connect with the client is essential. It's not a very common issue, but sometimes it's hard to express your ideas clearly, especially when there are so many different viewpoints to consider. We need to be patient with each other.
That's a very genuine point. I think our team is solid and we can manage the challenges. I'm just so grateful we have this chance to hustle on something so pivotal. To be honest, I'm literally so passionate about this project.
I know, right? It feels dope. We need to implement some of the new strategies we discussed. It's a low-key approach for now, but it will be effective in the long run. I'm just trying to navigate all the small details. It requires a lot of focus.
I know, it's tough. We have to evaluate our options carefully. We also need to negotiate with the marketing team on the budget. That's probably going to be a compromise, but it's a necessary step.
I think the overall plan is integral to the company's future. The presentation we put together for it was pretty epic, wasn't it? Our boss said it was a comprehensive overview, which was a relief.
It was, and I think the message really resonated with the leadership. It's a great feeling when your work is recognized as being valuable. I really appreciate all the hard work everyone put in. It's good to see the team's constructive feedback.
We need to keep our efforts consistent. That's how we'll build a sustainable model. I mean, if we chill for a few days, that's fine, but the hustle is real. Let's not hang out all weekend without getting some work done.
I agree. But seriously, I'm just so curious to see what the next phase of this project brings. I anticipate we'll have a significant amount of work ahead, but it's a very innovative plan. I feel like it's a legit game changer.
It's true. The new strategy feels very fresh. We also have to facilitate a meeting with the tech team to see what tools are available. We need to get a clear picture from them before we can truly approach the next step. I would say this project is a pretty solid example of modern collaboration.
I couldn't agree more. This project feels integral to our overall success. Okay, so now that we've had this conversation, I think you've seen how all 50 words can be used so naturally. Stay with us for part 3, where we'll dive into the grammar and usage of these words and clarify a few more things.
Now, as promised, we're going to break down some of the grammar and word usage we just used. It's not enough to just know the words, you have to know how to use them correctly.
Exactly. Let's start with a key point about our conversation, the use of adjectives and adverbs. Notice how we used adjectives like confident and solid to describe a feeling or a quality. Ben said, "I'm feeling pretty confident, and I think our team is solid." These words add depth to what you're saying and make your English much more expressive. We also used adverbs like literally to add emphasis, but as we mentioned, it's often used to exaggerate a point.
And what about the versatility of some of these words? A word like hustle is a perfect example. Jenny said, "I'm just so grateful we have this opportunity to hustle on something so pivotal," using it as a verb. But we could also say, the daily hustle in the city is exhausting, where it becomes a noun. This is a common and very cool feature of conversational English. Another example is vibe. It's a noun when I said, "It has a really good vibe," but you might hear someone say, "That concert really vibes with me," using it as a verb.
That's a great observation. Now, let's talk about using verbs to express purpose and result. We used phrases like to achieve our goals and to navigate all of the small details. The structure to plus verb is a common way to state a purpose. We also used modal verbs like we have to and we need to talk about necessity. This is a fundamental part of expressing what is required and what is necessary in a situation.
Right. For example, we have to evaluate our options, and it requires a lot of focus. Using these verbs makes your speech sound much more natural and precise. We also used verbs that are often followed by an infinitive or a gerund. I said, "I'm just trying to navigate all the small details," and Jenny said, "I was anticipating a difficult start." It's important to remember which verb takes which form. For example, you can say, "I'm trying to manage the project," but you would say, "I'm looking forward to managing the project," which uses a gerund.
Now, let's talk about the use of compound adjectives and noun phrases. We said a low-key approach and a comprehensive overview. We also said a pivotal opportunity. The order of these words matters. The adjective comes before the noun it describes, making your sentences more descriptive and detailed. This is crucial for painting a clear picture with your words.
And a final point on fluency, the use of filler phrases and linking words. Phrases like "I think," "I know," right? And "to be honest" are essential for making a conversation feel natural and effortless. They give you time to think, and they show the other person you are listening and reacting. These are not grammar points in the traditional sense, but they are absolutely integral to sounding like a native speaker.
So, as you can see, all 50 of these words can fit into many different grammatical structures. The key is to practice using them in context. Listen to our conversation again and try to identify other grammar points we didn't mention. The more you use these words and phrases, the more comfortable and confident you will become.
That's all the time we have for today's episode. We hope you found this guide to the 50 most important words in English both valuable and constructive. Thank you for listening to the MA English Cafe. Stay fluent.